slowly as his eyes clouded with tears. Sure didn't expect her to jump out after it, not with my car coming. Just then, Naomi noticed the letters strewn every which way along the roadside. Mama must have dropped the mail she had been holding when she was struck by the man's car. "I'm so sorry." The man's voice shook with emotion. "I slammed on my brakes, but I couldn't get stopped in time." Naomi squeezed her eyes shut and tried to think. How bad was Mama hurt? Should they try to move her up to the house? No, that wouldn't be a good idea. What if she had something broken? What if there were internal injuries? Is Mama going to be all right? Naomi had forgotten her younger sister had followed her out the door. She glanced up at Nancy and swallowed hard. I hope so. Yeah, I surely do. Sirens could be heard in the distance, and Naomi breathed a prayer of thanks. Once a doctor saw her, Mama would be okay. She had to be. Baby Zach needed her. They all needed Mama. Naomi? Mama's eyes opened, and Naomi could see the depth of her mother's pain. I need you to... Her words faltered. Be still, Mama, Naomi instructed. An ambulance is coming. You're going to be okay. Just rest for now. Tears slipped out of Mama's eyes and trickled down her cheeks. I need to ask you a favor. Just in case, she murmured. What is it, Mama? I'll do anything to help. Naomi took hold of her mother's hand, so cold and limp. If I don't make it, please don't even say the words. Naomi's voice came out in a squeak. She couldn't bear to hear her mother acknowledge that she might not survive. That's right, Mama. You shouldn't try to talk right now, Nancy added tearfully. I must. Mama's imploring look made Naomi's heart beat even faster. If I should die, promise you'll take care of the kinner, especially the Bopley. You're going to be fine, Mama. See here, the ambulance has arrived now, and soon you'll be at the hospital. Panic edged Naomi's voice, and when she swallowed, the metallic taste of fear sprang into her mouth. More tears splashed onto Mama's pale cheeks. This is important, daughter. Do I have your word? Naomi hardly knew what to say. She could continue to insist her mother was going to be all right, or she could tell Mama what she wanted to hear. Naomi decided the latter would be better. No use upsetting poor Mom more than she already was. She would agree to her mother's request only to make her feel better. However, Naomi felt certain she would never have to keep the promise. Her dear Mama was going to be all right. Naomi gently squeezed her mother's hand. Yeah, Mama, I promise. Chapter 1. Naomi Fisher tiptoed out of the back room and headed to the front of her father's general store. She'd finally gotten Zach down for a nap and felt ready for a break. Since there aren't any customers at the moment, would it be all right if I ate my lunch now? Naomi asked Papa, who was going over his ledger behind the counter near the front of the store. Yeah, okay, just don't be too long. He raked his fingers through the long, full beard covering his chin. That new order of candles still needs to be put on the shelves. Naomi's hand brushed against her father's arm as she reached under the counter for her lunch pail. I know. Your mom would have had those candles out already, he mumbled. She'd never allow the shelves to get dusty either. Naomi flinched as though she'd been slapped. She enjoyed working at the store, but it was getting harder to help run the place. There was no way she could keep up with the chores she was responsible for at home, and do everything Mama used to do, too. It wasn't fair for Papa to compare her with Mama, and she wished he would consider hiring a maid to help out. She squeezed the handle on her lunchbox. If only Mama hadn't stepped into the road and been hit by a car. The bishop said it was God's will. Sarah Fisher's time to die, he had announced at her funeral. Naomi wasn't so sure about that. How could Mama's death be God's will? I think I'll take my lunch outside if you've got no objections, she said, forcing her troubling thoughts aside. Papa shook his head. Schnell, quickly then. And eat your lunch before the baby wakes. I'm going. Naomi's sneakers padded across the hardwood floor. When she reached the front door, she turned around. Papa,